We all know why we're here. So let me ask you a question then. Why the big secret? Truth seekers, but really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we're knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, truth seekers, but really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, break it down. Now can you peep it? They're deceiving all the people. Let me ask you, what's the secret? Misinformation and lies, a devious disguise. They want the EMF blast until our brains is fried. Oh, point their beams in the sky. Oh, it's a movie now. This world is all CGI. Their plot is truly foul. But we're here to rise up and bring the real. Time is now, truth seekers. Y'all know how I feel. Truth seekers, we're really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we're knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, truth seekers, we're really the true leaders. Keep it grooving, the movement like two-seaters. Turn it up, we knocking through both speakers. It's time we get the truth from the big secret keepers. Hey, why the big secret?
All right, truth seekers, what's going on today? This is Roderick Martin, and I am here on Forbidden Knowledge TV, and we'll be here every Tuesday from now on doing the Why the Big Secret show. So I want to welcome each and every one of you. So listen, I'm in the Jumbo State, and that is where the UFOs come out to play, and that's a Texas thing, y'all. Yeah, so anyway, I like to say you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be right here, right now. And with that being said, I'm going to serve you. And how I'm going to do that is simply being the boldest, baffling, belligerent YouTube channel in the world, creating captivating conversations that will certainly cause controversy. So if you now want to say, hey, we now arrived to the show. So right now, I'd like to bid you good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be watching the show. And we're going to have a good time tonight. And so once again, if you didn't know, again, this is Why the Big Secret, and we cover some crazy topics. Now, here's the deal. Some of the things we talk about is not good for kids. So some of you in that Florida area, you might want to go ahead and put the kids to bed. If you got wives and husbands who don't believe in this UFO thing and you haven't fixed dinner, hey, give them some biscuits, some bacon. All of that makes it a good dinner tonight real quick because we're going to get with it. So, again, I want to thank Billy Carson for allowing me to be here part of his network. And I'm excited for that. So with that being said, I'm going to say hello to the Truth Seekers in a moment. We're live streaming from Clubhouse as well. And if you want to come over to the show, there is a link that'll bring you over here to Forbidden Knowledge TV. And we're getting ready to rock the house. So, okay, guys, get ready for the story. Get the notes because we're going to talk about that JFK assassination. And we're going to get down with it. So with that being said, I am excited. And let me cut this music down so we can now get into the show. All right, so guys, welcome. I'm Roderick Martin, and I am again here, have a YouTube channel called Why the Big Secret, but I'm part of Billy Carson's network. And so we will be live streaming here on Tuesday night, and we will have some compelling conversations. If a lot of you didn't know, I am a UFO investigator with the MUFON Network. I also host a couple of TV shows. One in particular is the Alien Endgame, which is on Discovery Plus channel right now. And then also there's another one on Fox Tubi just released that I'm in. It's called Aliens, Extraterrestrials, and Roswell 75. And most gratefully, I'm in the Black Knight satellite that Billy Carson's put on with the, that, man, if you hadn't seen it, you got to check it out because it is one of the best documentaries of all time, Beyond the Signal. And he did a awesome job. You got Billy Church, a lot of other people in that. But hey, you know what? I serve a purpose. I'm in there. So check it out from there. Also, pretty soon you'll see a couple of shows on Gaia that I was with George Norrie and a couple of other ones. And I go back into a couple of other films as well. So either way, I just want to say welcome, and I'm going to say hello to the truth seekers who are over here tonight. And I see you guys turning out, Nicole, Steph, JJ, C-Tech, Magneticus, and the list goes on and on and on. All right, so Justin, what's going on? We're here. Yep, we're here to do some great things tonight too. So we're going to be getting into what I call one of the biggest conspiracies of all time. And we all probably heard about it a little bit, but I think one of the things that we really want to pay more close attention to is that UFO connection that comes down to it. And so those are one of the things that I think we're going to tap. But I'm going to go through the timeline. We're going to connect some of the dots. We're going to see some of the key players who's up to this thing and who actually we want to look into a little deeper and say, well, you know what? That's one of the things. And so here, my job here is really simple. And I have a saying that I use on our channel is that your eyes are useless when your mind is blind, and it's time to think why. So my job here is to simply is going to give you some information that you can read, things you can see, things we can talk about to simply awaken your curiosity to the possibility. Okay, that number one, we're not alone in this universe when it comes down to aliens and extraterrestrials, but any other big secrets that are out there. And so you're going to hear me reference the big secret keepers. That's something that we say here on the Why the Big Secret on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you're welcome to subscribe to the channel and get some more dose. But mainly, if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do that already, because this is going to be the premier network. This is where you're going to come and get your content all over the place. And when I tell you Billy is putting something together special, he is putting something together special. That's all I can tell you at this point. But the whole point is that, once again, when you're talking about this particular phenomena, and yeah, okay, I'm African-American, I'm UFO investigator, I'm in this thing. And oftentimes in my community, in our community, is something that is a little taboo. But we don't do that here. We go deep into everything. We talk about all the possibilities. And you may not find a lot of nuts and bolts when it comes down to this UFO thing. When I talk more of a what's really happening, what are we really going to do? For example, when we got out here that this thing is coming out that UFOs are now getting, or extraterrestrials, that women are probably coming up pregnant. I got the ultimate question: who's paying child support for these babies? Who's going to be doing those things? When you're talking about realism today when it comes out. But all right, so we're going to get into again our conversation tonight. And so let me kind of put up a little tag here so you'll know what our main topic is going to be. And it's going to be that JFK assassination, who, what, and why the big secret. But one of the things about this is that it has a UFO connection, and we're going to get to that as I go down some of the things. And if you're here in the chat, you want to add something to the pot, definitely, or the conversation, we definitely want you to do that. Now, of course, there's hundreds of people here, and therefore we want to. Now, here's what I want to do tonight. I want to see if we can get 1,000 likes so I can send a message back to Billy and say, thank you for having me here, and I really appreciate it. So we got enough people in here now that we could have 500 likes. And so if you find value in this program tonight and every Tuesday night from here on out from 8 p.m. Central, smash the like button, smash that like button, because we definitely, in fact, we do want the algorithms to bring a lot of traffic to this Forbidden Knowledge Network. So here's it. I hold the whole force. Yes, I do. And so I am part of the community and the assembly and the inner circle of Forbidden Knowledge. And so I represent it as well. And let's get ready to get down into this conversation. Are y'all ready? So I think the first thing we need to really understand is the magnitude when it comes down to this JFK thing, right? And it's got a lot of legs to it that we're going to talk about tonight, and we're going to go down some of those legs. But ultimately, I'm going to go all the way back to our community of thoughts. And why would I want to talk about that when it comes down to the secrets? And that is true. And there's anything else that's out here, I think you all should know. You know, there's a lot of things that once we think about it is, you know, we hear about these narratives out here, but here on Why the Big Secret, we tend to go beyond the narrative, okay? And we're going to tie some of that in tonight. So I think you're going to really enjoy what we're going to talk about. Again, hit those like buttons. I think we went up a little bit, but we do have enough people here to get that 1,000 tonight, and I definitely want to do that as well. Yes, I am a UFO investigator for MUFON. That's the Mutual UFO Network. I'm in the state of Texas, and as I said it in the intro, if you missed it, it's the Jumbo State, and this is where these UFOs come out to play, because they actually play here in Texas. You better believe that. All right, so how do we get to the beginning of this story? Now, again, I'm in Dallas, and you know, my age is 25 times 2 plus 2. So for you scholars, you'll figure that out. You'll be like, what? Yeah, yep, 25 times 2 plus 2. But JFK happened before I was born. But of course, in this, now I really told you how old I am. But the whole point is, it happened in Dallas, and this is where I live. And so once you get down to those particular things, you can say, okay, Roderick, we're going to go into it. But JFK assassination was not only a global event, but it was one of the most shocking events of all time. And one being the message that was sent. Okay, so I'm gonna start there. We're talking about the message, right? And I think the message, and a lot of these things that you're going to hear are going to be my personal opinion, my thoughts. You're welcome to put yours there. And then, of course, as anything, if you want to do some super chats, you can pop that up. Then, of course, that'll bring you up a lot quicker from there. And so, again, I'm Roderick Martin. I host a YouTube channel and podcast called Why the Big Secret. And so I do Monday, Tuesday, well, Tuesdays here from now on, and then Monday on my YouTube channel as well. So you're welcome, or please, if you do find value, subscribe to the channel, because we're all one big family. The message that was sent, this is something that I look at, and I'm sure a lot of us have. The message that was sent, that when you have a president of the United States at this moment being assassinated in public view. Okay, so that's your first hint that whoever did this sent a message. Okay, because they could have did it poisonous drink. They could have, did it while he was asleep somewhere. I don't know, but really they could have done it while he was at McDonald's. As far as I'm concerned, they said no. We want everybody to see it, and that could go into the whole point to where you could think, all right, this is where the cover-up started. But like I said, we're going to unearth a lot of little things tonight, and we're going to go down. But I'm sure you hang around when we get into the second segment of this, or third segment of the show. We're going to the UFO thing, y'all. Yeah, there is some stuff that you need to know, and I think everyone needs to know. We don't want to be left out. And what I mean by that, I'm glad you asked. We don't want to be left out. Everybody, the CIA is in on it, the FBI is in on it, the mob, his girl, all of these people are in on it. Why can't we be? We in on it. So the UFO community, we got a leg, we got a dog in the fight on this assassination thing, and I'm going to put that out there to you. I'm going to show you some facts and a few things, and then for you to decide at the end of the night when we leave, what do you think and your thoughts? But along the way, please make sure that you put some notes in here and a couple of things, and we can kind of be a part of the conversation. So let's get down into this thing, okay? Because again, they sent the message, and we all know if anybody, if you don't think about it, anything that goes down, people want people to know big. This is where it happened. So the cover up actually began after his death. Okay, right. Not before, because nobody knew it was going down. I'm going to show you a couple of facts from Dallas here, some areas. We're going to go over some of the stuff you already know real quickly, because I'm just going to touch on it, what happened to him, when it happened, who did it, which is the cover story. And then we're going to go dig deep into why the big secret, because I think that there are some things that, they think they wanted us to know, but at the end of the day, why the big secret? And that is a big secret. So that's the question that we're going to ask. So let's get down into the beginning of this. And I'm going to start it out with a little clip I created just to kind of open the doors to where we're about to go with this thing. And let's put it together right here. All right, so that was me giving you a quick overview of some of those key players, and I figured I create that real quick early. I'm saying, you know what? Let me put something together and show. After all, I am on the Forbidden Knowledge TV, and this is the Forbidden Knowledge series of Why the Big Secret. And so you saw some of the key players. But there's going to be a couple people in here that I'm going to bring up. Some of you might have heard, but then you're going to be like, oh, whoa. We're really going deep. And we're going to go do that. So according to everything, as you know, JFK was assassinated in November. That was the 22nd in 1963, to be exact. And this, again, was one of the most compelling things in our history today. And the question has always been why and what happened and who did it. And then speculations already occur. And rightfully so. There's a huge reason why the conspiracy is a conspiracy, unlike any of everything else. I mean, there is some stuff that we're going to go over that it just makes sense that it was a conspiracy, and it lends you to go to who did it. The problem is that this guy had a whole lot of list of people that wanted him out of there. Okay. A lot of people. And I don't know what to do when you think about you, the president of the freaking United States, but I will begin with whoever told him to go there in Dallas with a convertible. And you haven't seen that since, right? Was definitely, and from my understanding, I guess he's done that in the past. But again, that alone was a security measure. And okay, who expected some of the things that's going to happen at that point? Now, the cover up began when, after he was assassinated, that the new president, which was LBJ, he made this assembly, the Warren Commission. I'm sorry, and the Warren Commission is the people who was told to investigate the JFK assassination thoroughly. Now, within days, these people come back with the magic bullet theory, the single shot theory. This is where they came back with who actually supposed to have been the gunman, Lee Harvey Oswald, who shot this man. Okay. And then of course, you know what happened to him afterwards, and we'll get into that. But the first thing I want to kind of show you is two pictures here, and we're going to get into it. And like I said, you make sure y'all hang around, because we're going to take this all the way down to the UFO side of this. And then we're going to talk about why would people kill in the UFO community for secrets. And I think you're going to be really shocked, and you're going to probably be surprised when I get to some of the conversation. But in the meantime, I want you to focus on this particular picture right here. This is right seconds after this man was shot. Okay. In that pink dress, you see his wife. Obviously, the rumor has it, or the allegedly, that she was reaching back, not to get her, I'm not going to make a joke and say cell phones. Let me stop there, because I do have a lot of humor, but let me stop there right now. She reached back to get what was being said was possibly his part of his training or whatever that was shot off. But I want you to look at the fact that where she was on this car, and she's at the back of this car. And if you think about it, you see him laying next to her underneath that, okay? Underneath him, all right? So at this point, here is something in Dallas that we call the grassy knolls. Now, I live near downtown. I go down here at least once a week. I pass through and I've seen this thing 100 times, okay? This grassy knolls, if you look over there to the top, is another angle when he was just shot. And that angle would have been the shot. That's the rumor, okay? So let me give you some things, and then we're going to get into deep. This is the path that this man took in those 3 X's that you see in red there, or where he definitely was shot, okay? Now up at the top, you're going to see the 3 arrows where it says the sniper's perch. Check that out. That means that sniper was shooting from behind him, okay? He was shooting from behind him up on that perch, but yet his wife went to get whatever came off the top of him from the front. In other words, the bullet came from the front, or had to have, because had he was shot from behind, all of that would have been up in the front seat as opposed to the back of the car. All right. And this is just true facts. Okay. So that started everything. Okay. At this point. So you're talking about the sniper being up in a window. He was traveling the opposite direction, but yet his wife reached behind him to grab that. So what do you guys think as we start this right now? Give me some comments. Let me know you're in it. Hit the like button. Let's get up to 500 tonight. It's 700 people here. If you're just finding any value in Billy's station, in what I'm doing, please just hit the like button. We'll do that. So what do you guys think about that first? I see. Okay, Sonia. All right. Yeah, that's right. Never realized that. Yeah, a lot of people don't show that from there. So if you look at that, it was the driver that shot him. All right. Okay, we got some rumors, and we're going to go there tonight. We're going to go with, I want to hear everybody's conspiracy, because tonight why the big secret, we're going to go where nobody else went with this thing. Okay. But I'm going to show you some stuff here. So once again, real quickly, you see where she's reaching. Obviously, he was shot from that direction. And this here is something called the grassy knolls. Okay. The grassy knoll is where other people heard other shots simultaneously and came from a different angle. Okay. And that was one of the things. And so that's just the start. So we're going to we lay that out for you right now. Okay. So now you see that this is where the conspiracy started. Now, what made it worse was that there was a lot of actions that happened after that, but then we'll kind of go into that. So now, again, for those who just chiming in, we got a few hundred more just came in. I'm Roderick Martin. I'm a UFO investigator here in the state of Texas. I am the host of the podcast, Why the Big Secret, and the YouTube channel, Why the Big Secret. I now stream. I'm part of Forbidden Knowledge Network, and I now stream on here on Tuesday night. And also, I have an 8-episode series that's going to be airing on Forbidden Knowledge TV within the next couple of months, or next month probably. But I also host a couple of other TV shows on Discovery Channel, Fox as well. But anyway, I just wanted to make that introduction. So we're talking about tonight, we're talking about our main theme is the JFK assassination. And already I'm starting conspiracy of what it is. Okay, so I'm looking over here. Some people are saying that the driver did it, the butler did it, and, just whoever. I get it. But when I tell y'all who I think else did it besides UFO stuff, some of you are going to be like, what? Yeah. So we're going to be getting in that. If you're listening to us in Clubhouse, we're live streaming in there as well. You can come over to Forbidden Knowledge Network TV. There's a link in the pin link. You just click it and it'll bring you over to Forbidden Knowledge TV, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. All right. So we got those two things set out. The next part of this was that as you know, right after this, they arrested a guy. Okay. And that was this guy right here. All right. His name is Lee Harvey Oswald. Okay. So they arrested him for the killing, and he was supposed to have taken the shots from that upper place that I just showed you, hit this man in a different direction, of course. And this was it. So once again, this is going to be last time I show this one. You see her reaching back. Obviously, what I'm going to say is that whatever hit him like this and blew this back behind him. Okay. So she was like, oh, sugar honey iced tea, you know, for the kids if they're still watching. Oh, sugar honey iced tea. I need to grab this. Right. So, but the route of this car, once again, the shooter shot from a different direction. It would have probably not been possible for him, his head to, for him to be shot in the back of the head to then ultimately the whatever it was fly back the other way on a high-powered rifle. And I could be wrong. So I know there's some gun-carrying folks on this channel tonight, and if you are, you definitely do that. One of Oswald's shots was the magic bullet that hit the guy in the passenger seat. So yeah, so you got all of this stuff that's happening. I mean, we're talking like this is crazy, right? All right, so now we got the plot. The plot is he was shot. He was shot by Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm sorry. From that book depository behind him with a gun that actually cost $19.96 at the time, $19.96. Whoa. And he was shot. But the message was this man was shot in broad daylight, in front of public people, in front of his wife, in front of everybody for the whole world to see. And if that wasn't a message, if that wasn't somebody said, we need to send a message and we need everybody to know we ain't playing, this is it, and we can do what we did, and that's what happened. Because again, they could have poisoned his drink. They could have done a whole lot of other stuff while they was doing it. So next, we're going to get into what likely, how many different people had problems with JFK and would have plotted to get rid of this guy. Okay. This is where this plot is getting to get thickened. I got about 8 sections we're going to get into and who is behind this thing. But in the meantime, we now set up the theory. Now, of course, at the end of this day, here's a good shot. This guy was shot by this dude out of Dallas, Jack Ruby. Walked right up in front of security. Now, this is a guy that shot the president of the United States in the head from a quarter of a mile away with a magic bullet. And he walks up, Jack Ruby, and shoot this guy right there. Okay. Now, I just thought that'd be good because you can see the expression. Now, the guy next to him got the look like, what's going on? Ooh. Now, this guy's surrounded by Navy SEALs. He's surrounded by swimming ducks, every police that Dallas had to offer, all of those things. He's surrounded by everybody. And this guy was able to walk up with a gun, pop him, and do this. Now, here's an interesting fact that I want y'all to check and see. There, at the time when JFK was assassinated, hear me out. Do you know killing a president was not a federal offense? No. So at the time that he was murdered or assassinated, okay, the laws was not. So Lee Harvey Oswald would probably got some time, but you're talking about it wasn't a federal offense where they would have threw the book at him. Don't pass go. You don't collect $200. You're going to go straight to jail. In fact, we're going to bury you in this bad boy. You ain't going to be found. It was not a federal offense. Okay. So I don't know what that meant or why I said that. But when I saw that, I was like, what the heck could that do? You know, so obviously the implications of doing this was a whole different ball game. So now the guy who killed the guy, okay, was supposed to be associated with the mob. He's supposed to have worked with Al Capone. Now, the story is he used to work with Al Capone. Now, we all know the drill. You ain't getting out of the Cosa Nostra and all this kind of stuff. You're not getting out of that. This is a lifelong commitment. And when Al Capone called you up in your nightclub in Dallas and said, hey, I need you to bump off the guy who shot the president, and I need this to be done publicly. See what I'm saying? We got two messages. That one was done publicly, and now that one was done publicly. So obviously somebody is sending a message. So this is where the mob comes in that, because we were okay. The guy was shot by the mob guy, which ultimately was working for this guy, which is Al Capone. Okay. Now we know at this point he ruled everything. And so it was not unlikely that him and his henchmen and gangs or whatever could not be behind this thing from there. And that's one of the things that we look at when it comes down to this phenomenon is, hey, what's really happening? So let's get down into some of the facts here. And we're going to be doing that. And not even the facts. I just, because I don't buy the story. I don't buy the story. I don't buy the magic bullet theory. I don't buy that man shot this man by himself. Some of the bullets missed. And then, of course, other bullets hit him and other people at the same time. He shot it with a $20 rifle. Okay, maybe gun prices was down at the time. But he did this from way back there. And, and all of a sudden, he hit this man, moving target, whatever. And then at the same time, he's then assassinated, live public TV. Nobody's securing this guy who done shot the president. And that was the other part. Now, the other part that really gets sticky, okay, is this Warren Commission that LBJ, who took over the presidency, put together. Now, here's some things I want to point out to you. When JFK was assassinated, one of the first things that they did was his limousine was cleaned up. Okay, go back and look it up for yourself. They cleaned up the limousine. They cleaned it up and got rid of all the evidence, basically. Okay, they cleaned this thing up, and then rather than preserving it for the forensic stuff and exam, they cleaned this thing up. All right, so that's your first one in another part of this plot. Somebody had the authority, somebody had the power to make a call to somebody and say, go wash the car. Darn, right? Okay, so that was another part of it. Another part of this was they should have inspected the body because it happened in Dallas, Texas, and sent it to a coroner. They immediately shipped this man's body into the plane, Air Force One, and let's just take it with us. Nobody, and we know that theory. We watched enough movies, nobody, no evidence, whatever. They moved this body, okay, instantly. Nobody did their due diligence to do what they was doing. So that's another thing. Once again, we are almost at 500, man. We're almost at 500. Let's get 500 likes. If you find any value right now, smash the like button. I'm excited to be here. I'm Roderick Martin, Why the Big Secret, now here part of the Forbidden Knowledge Network, call sign Forbidden. All right, there you go. All right, so another part of this is that they should have took this car. We all know, we all watch crime stories and all that. You go and they inspect everything. This is the president. This is not Popeye. This ain't Pookie, who got shot over there in the street. This is the president of the freaking United States, and we're not even going to check the car. We're not going to see any of that. We're just going to go move this thing, and so the plot thickens. Now, this is just a little bit of it, right? This is just coming one of those deals. The next part of this was the areas where the guy shot from wasn't sealed off. They didn't go put the yellow tape around it and hey, evidence, and bring in Perry Mason, and he was around about that time. And that let you know how old I am. And they didn't bring in Perry Mason and all these people. They let the crime scene gets trampled on with everybody else and all of this stuff, and the plot thickens. Could you imagine, if something happened to somebody today like that, we'll probably had all kind. Man, please. So somebody had the authority. Don't go cover up the crime scene. Don't go do this. In fact, even the school book depository where the guy supposed had shot this man from was unattended. They didn't block it off. They didn't go scrap it for evidence. Basically, this is why I have the question of my show. Why the big secret? Why, not the secret that we know what happened, but there's other things that we got to get down to. And like I said, we're going to go through this tonight, and I got plenty more. We just getting started, but then I got a couple of kickers for you. So you make sure you hang around. And one involving his girl. What? Yeah, his girl. No, his wife. All right. And then we're talking about UFOs and aliens. Oh, we can't get no better than that. I mean, we end in the game. So I just want y'all to know, you make sure you hang around, because I'm going to make sure I bring that home for us. And so we can look into that. So at this point, the worst of the worst. Here's the worst of the worst. The man's autopsy photos. Now his cufflinks and all that come up missing, but his autopsy photos disappear. Okay, I know it. His autopsy photos of the president of the United States who was assassinated just disappears. People, here's what I'm trying to point out to you. I'm not just setting up the JFK assassination. I mean, y'all hear me out right now, please. I'm not just setting up the JFK assassination. Oh, Lord, I'm not. I'm just talking about it. But if you see the people that got the power to shoot this man, cover it up, move the body, get rid of the autopsy photos, don't do the crime scene, wash the car, and we just getting started, and you think they're going to do a UFO disclosure? See, that's what I'm going to tie into y'all in a minute. So hang around. Yeah, I know this is forbidden knowledge, and this is the series of Why the Big Secret. I hear you. I can feel you. And we're going to get into that. Yeah. And someone else, I'm going to read a quick chat. The driver fired himself. Okay. Everybody's saying the driver did it. Okay. We're going to go. I got some more stuff for y'all who might have did this. And so anyway, his autopsy photos is gone. It's gone. And so that enough tell you we got some, we ain't dealing with no clerks here. We're dealing with somebody who got some power, who's saying, all right, so let's break down. I got about 6 people or organizations or things that typically I think will be considered subject number 1 of who would have killed this man. We'll get into why. Like I said, of each one of these, I'm gonna give you some details, and then I'm gonna tie in a couple of loose ends that you probably didn't know, to get us to go questions. And then I need y'all help. Then I'm gonna really ask the audience to participate. So we're gonna be doing that as well. And first of all, I want to thank everybody who's pushed that like button. My goal and dream tonight is to, get us to 1,000. That's my thank you to Billy to allow me to serve you guys here and be of service. And, that's what I want to do here with Why the Big Secret. So, all right, so let's get now into, and so get ready, get your notepads if you want to do it. If you want to just start thinking, follow along with me. You don't want to miss this, because all roads lead to UFO. So I'm throwing it out there, and you're going to be shocked. I'm going to show you some UFO evidence a little bit, some stuff, but at the end of the day, we're going to, and when we get to that part of the conversation, all right, so we got a super chat. Congratulate Roderick. That's my own name. How can I mess up my own name? He says the truth seekers are here, and we're proud of you. 1,000 likes for sure. That is C-Tech. C-Tech is one of our avid followers at the Truth Seekers. And my community, Why the Big Secret, like you guys know, we call our community the Truth Seekers. And that's who we are as a community. The government, anybody, religious institutions, we call them the big secret keepers. The big secret keepers are always trying to do that. And Roderick, don't like keyboard warriors clicking like. Magneticus, I don't even know what he's saying there, but don't like keyboard warriors clicking like. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, click likes. That's what he meant. All right, so y'all ready? So let's ready. If you ready for me to get started, to tell you some of the 7 people or 7 things, hit ready, put ready in the chat. So let me know. Just say I'm ready. We ready. Give me a couple of readies. I know my Truth Seekers are going to say ready, but any of them new folks, say you're ready, and we're going to pop this thing out right now and be shocked. Okay, so there we go. We got some readies. All right, so we're going to get down to the first part of this. Look at them Reddies. All right. Oh, shuck, sugar, honey, iced tea. Well, y'all gonna make me do a dance for y'all. That's what I'm talking. But I'm not gonna do that. But y'all gonna make me do it though. Y'all gonna make me, hit it. So appreciate it. All right. So we are ready. Somebody else said they've been ready. Okay. So I mean, I just been stalling this person, and that would be, I can't even pronounce your name, Suitress, if that's what it is. But okay. So the first people that we want to consider would have been Russia. Okay. And not Russia themselves, but because Russia and the United States was at this war, Kennedy was considered a loose cannon. Okay. He was considered a loose cannon, and he was I'm almost ready to go to the toilet. Funny. Okay. He was considered a loose cannon, young. He was idealistic, and he was like, let's bring everybody back from Vietnam. Okay. And that was something. So once again, I want you to hang out. Military, the military establishment, there's a lot of money involved in this. Okay. So I want y'all to hang that over here, because it's going to come back to the UFO thing. So we got the military establishment was not happy about him bringing people back from Vietnam. And this is when Russia was at this time called the USSR. Okay. They was in power before that broke down. But then let me give you a hint though, as we get forward. When LBJ took over right after Kennedy was assassinated, and I ain't say months later, right after he was assassinated, he sent the troops right back in. Okay. Right afterwards. Now, you probably seen this movie in the plot before. You probably seen that particular scene in that movie that, which was Jamie Foxx playing the president, if y'all remember. And the guy was upset because Jamie Foxx was like Kennedy. He was this new idealistic president. He was pulling all the troops out, and the vice president plotted to kill him. Okay. And he was mad because he was pulling those troops out. They don't just make this stuff up. They don't make this stuff up. I know. That's my conspiracy for you. Part of it. They don't make it up. So at this point, this is that point. So that's the first thing. The next part of this, and I'm going to get to it right now, is again, this guy. Okay. This is Al Capone. Al Capone at the time was one of the most notoriously known freaking mafias of all time. Now, you don't make no mistake about that baby face that boy got, but he will probably, what they say, steal your cookie jar, right? This guy was very, very serious when it came down to it. And him and these people, they did racketeering, pimping, drug running, gambling, all of this. They did all of these things, okay, at this time. And one of the things about it was they ruled all of the unions and all that at the time. And when Kennedy was running for president, they backed him. Okay. They said they went out and put their powers to be into the streets. You go and tell such and such on the trucks, and all of everybody underneath, and everybody backed this man in the union, and they put their power behind it. Either do it or you're going to get bumped off. And they did it because they felt that they got now a president in their pocket. He's going to protect them. But soon as he got there, as you remember, him, his brother, he started going after organized crime. He made a statement that they were the enemy, and he went back on his promise. Now, there was always rumors that the Kennedy family had played with that, but at the end of the day, he did this, and they didn't like it. They didn't like it. So they makes them one of the candidates to why he was probably assassinated. That's just one. We're talking about the mafia. Okay. And then once again, Jack Ruby, as you remember, the one who killed the guy, was definitely who killed Oswald, worked for this man, Al Capone. So that's that story. That's the assassination part one of who could have possibly did it. Stick around. I got some more for you. And again, hit the like button. We're at 690. Man, we may get that 1,000 early. I'm excited about that. So we can get 1,000 likes. If you find in value, smash the like button. We're going to do that. The next people that they said that could have had a problem with this thing is this people. Now they're saying the CIA could have been in on this assassination. Now, again, this is the CIA who works for our government, Central Intelligence Agency. And I know some of you who you didn't know, but like, well, what they have to do with it? Well, at that time, the CIA worked with the mafia. Oh yeah, this is our government, y'all. This is the government. This is the big united, the big secret keepers. Let me make sure I phrase that right. These people worked with the mafia. The mafia was known to be the hand of the Central Intelligence Agency, which is connected to the United States of America. Okay. So these people are working hand in hand. And if things didn't work out right, they had a problem with this. They really, truly had a problem. Okay. So at this point, we're now looking at, and for those of you, if you just came in, I'm Roderick Martin. Once again, I'm a UFO investigator. And yes, there is a UFO connection with JFK, and we're going to get to it. Hang around. Don't miss out. All right. So we got 1,000 people here. That's the blessing. Thank you. 1,000. And if all of you hit the like button, smash the like button, we will get to 1,000. All right. So now at this point, we're now getting to truly understanding the first part of this. Okay. So now I explained to you, from the military complex, but the mafia themselves and the military people who wasn't really too happy with JFK. So now you got the mafia who worked with the CIA. And for very reasons, there was this thing called the Bay of Pigs invasion, which was going to be invading Cuba at this time. And they wanted to get rid of this particular guy, which is Castro. Okay. Yeah, he's smoking a cigar because he was bad like that. That dude didn't play. Fidel Castro, okay? They didn't like him, and he didn't like them either. And he didn't care about them liking them either. So now our American mafia, because Castro had an issue, and our government really had issues with them, and then all of these tied up. So now Kennedy got enemies within the CIA, allegedly, the mafia, allegedly. And we're seeing that even, and check this out, even several mafia top people later on was instrumental in the assassination of Castro, working with our CIA. All right. So our CIA worked with them, was pissed, and then they work with that. So again, Jeffrey said, I'm reading here. It says mafia work with CIA going back to Lucky Luciano. Yep. Welcome in, welcome. All right. So now we're getting somewhere just a little bit. Okay. So hang around. I got a lot more for you. We're going to get deep into this JFK UFO assassination thing, the connection, why the big secret. And once again, I want to thank each and every one of you, and continue to smash the like button. I just want to get to 1,000 tonight, just to say thank you and everything else. And again, if you also have an opportunity when this is over, or we'll do a 30-second break in a little bit, kind of play our little Why the Big Secret thing. But at that time, if any of you feel honored enough to go over to Why the Big Secret YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel. I stream Monday. We do a lot of UFO talk. I interview a lot of people, but I do get into a lot of other conspiracies as well. But anyway, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. I have a ghost hunter. Marie, we do a connection between ghost and the UFOs. Yeah, we talk about that as well. So if you're interested in knowing that, make sure you do that. All right, so Castro. Okay, we talked about it. And now let's get into this particular guy right here. This is the FBI. Now, this is where the plot really gets tricky. That's J. Edgar Hoover, okay? Now, Hoover was the FBI director under JFK, okay? According to the alleged word on the street, and we know the word on the street, when the word on the street is the word on the street. We know the word on the street. The word on the street is that Hoover was about to get out of there. It was time for him to retire, but he didn't want to go to the farm. He was like, no, I don't want to do this. I need to hang around, because he wanted to keep his job. But he was buddies, though, with LBJ, the vice president, they was buddies. They was like, I'm talking like this, like killing buddies, obviously, cuddle buddies. Okay, these dudes didn't play. So I hear my watch. Be quiet. So anyway, he at this time did not want to be sent out to the farm. He didn't want to, and he wasn't too thrilled about that. And then there was also a lot of issues between Hoover and the other Kennedys. They all didn't get along. Okay, so we got issues on top of issues. So now we got the military, we got the CIA, now we got our own FBI. And so Kennedy was about to get rid of Hoover. Anyway, he was getting ready to just say, hey, you got to go. So, of course, Hoover probably went to his boy, LBJ, the vice president. Man, that ain't cool, man. They're going to let me go. So the plot thickens. And then they began to, one of the things about it, just to kind of, here's the deal. So Hoover, it goes something like this. So Hoover go to his boy, okay? And he's like, hey, man, I don't want to lose my job, okay? Now, this is the FBI director because he knows everything. And Hoover and LBJ says, dude, I don't know what to do. He's like, I'm just the vice president. And now I understand what Chris Rock. Y'all remember Chris Rock says, he know why he had to kill him? Remember that story? Remember that? Okay. So Chris Rock, on the other hand, is like, that's what he said. So I think the plot started right there on them. So LBJ says, you know what? I'll tell you what, we got to get him out of here. Okay. And if we get him out of here, I'm going to let you keep your job. In fact, if you remember, LBJ became that for life. Yeah, somebody put Onassis in. Oh, we're going to get to his girl. Because it ain't nothing like being assassinated and your girl is not involved. So we're going to get to that too. Because she's close enough to make this happen. Okay? She's real close to make this happen. So at this point, I'm like, okay, we're going to do it. So let me shut that down because that was my plot music. Yeah, you got to have some background music. You got to have a plot music when you're talking about the plot. You got to have the plot music. Okay. So now we got Hoover done cried to his boy, all right, and saying, hey, we need to whack him too. We got to do something. But think about the conversations, though. We just going to talk about knocking off the president of the United States. Okay. We're just talking about this. So, okay, now we got Hoover, his boy, and again, let me show you a picture. That's Hoover and LBJ. He's shocked though, but those two are cool like that. All right. They're really, really cool. All right. And so that was the other part that we want to get into. All right. So now I'm going to take you into a couple of other things. You want to think about other business people. Okay. You want to think about oil because, talking war, you're talking about all these people that could have been ticked off because of the JFK change and everything. So these are other stuff. So now I'm going to go out on a stretch a little bit and show you something. And there was one more guy too. This guy was the one in Vietnam, Ding Nung Hu or whatever. He had a problem too. Okay, so he had a problem with them trying to do all assassinations. So this is the fifth or sixth person that had issues with JFK that wanted to bump this man off and go into the route. But let me give you a sneak preview of something else here. Y'all know who that is right there? Anybody recognize the lady in the middle? Please put it in the chat right now. If you recognize that lady in the middle, and of course that's JFK on the side, who is that woman? Let me know if you know who that is. All right. So, yep. Y'all getting it. Okay. We see it. Yep. That's exactly who that is. The rumor has it that this girl liked the Kennedys. She really did. That's his brother, and that's it, and that's in the middle. Now, you would think they would be upset sharing a woman, but why not? If y'all both married, you're the president of the United States, you own a sidekick, you can't claim her. You can't tell her you Marilyn, you mine. She ain't going for that. This is Marilyn Monroe. So We know there's a tie to that. But the problem is this picture. The woman to the right don't like what was going on. The rumor had it was that JFK, okay, work with me now, that JFK was always cheating on this lady, okay, and she was not thrilled about it. So her name got thrown in the pot that she was possibly one of the people who whacked this man off. Okay, yeah, I know. We're going to go back to the picture. I said I wasn't going to show it again. Roderick, if she did it, why did she reach out there and grab the head or whatever's left? She could have just let it float on off and say, damn it, whatever. She didn't. All right. Well, because supposedly she was dating this man. And this man, or of course, is her second husband, Artist Onassis. This guy was filthy rich. Now, we know the whole cliche in the world is we tend to want something we can't have. But when you got money, and I don't, for the life of me, if I had $1 billion, I know if it get ate up now, but could he want to go and want that woman? That's the only woman in the world. He was like, I got to have this woman. I'm super rich. I love her. And I'm going to whack the president of the United States because he's cheating on her. And she is not even my girl. Have anybody experienced something like that? Have anybody know anybody that your friends put hands on somebody else because she was married to somebody else? But he's jealous because the husband not only got her, but able to cheat on her, and he's ticked off and he wants to bump him off so he can get the girl, and he got money. And so he can pay somebody to pull something off. Isn't that kind of crazy though? I don't know. I would think that you got $1 billion, dude. And back then he had millions, and that was like equated to billions. And it couldn't have been that good. I don't think so. And that's why we make sure the kids are put to bed. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get toward the UFO stuff. We're at the segment that I want to begin to bridge the gap for y'all and take us into a deep conversation. Okay. We're about to do that. Let me get a sip of drink here. So we're getting ready to take the journey. So I have established right now that it could have been his wife who was mad because he was cheating. And I ain't saying a man deserve to get his head blown off. I mean, that's some serious stuff to be cheating for. All right. And the mafia says, okay, he's messing up the booze, the racketeering and everything else. All right. FBI didn't like it because he was handling them and didn't want to support what they was doing. The CIA was upset. Military complex is upset because he's pulling people out of, Vietnam, and all this is about money. Y'all hear me? Money. So that's going to be the key word for tonight. That's why how it's going to tie into this UFO stuff. We're talking about money. All right. So then, you got Marilyn Monroe, who was just the beautiful Marilyn Monroe. The brother was sleeping with her. He's sleeping with her and everybody else. And then, as y'all know, she died. Okay. Oh, did I leave that out? We ain't going to talk about that. She got bumped off. Maybe, maybe not. And the word was that this dude was telling her secrets, pillow talk style. He's sitting back. Oh, Marilyn, we're going to shoot Russia tomorrow. And, and he's the president. He ain't got nothing else better to do. You know what I'm saying? And he's sitting back telling her secrets. That's the word. So they had to get rid of her because the whole overruled the poll, technically speaking. Oh, y'all going to get that later. So anyway, so now she's a threat. Okay. She's a threat to society here. And that's a problem. So I'm like, okay, we're going to do it. Yes. Money. Y'all make sure y'all know, because we're going to get down to it in a minute. So now we got all of this issues. All right. We got 800 and something likes. The dream is 1,000. If you find value in tonight, you haven't had the opportunity to smash that like button, man. Smash that like button right now and do that. So I got questions for the audience now. All right. Before I take you down this UFO route and we go really deep into this UFO talk. Okay. Who did it so far? What do you think? Post your comment. Is it the military, CIA, FBI? Was it Marilyn Monroe? Was it his wife and her new lover who became her husband right after they got a divorce? I mean, he didn't get a divorce. He got whacked off. It's no better way of get that woman's man and take it. So tell me what y'all think right now. Okay, we got CIA. We got Mafia. We got FBI yet? No FBI. Nobody saying that. She shot dead either. LBJ did it. Okay. That would probably be the most likely because he did a lot of stuff right after that. All right, but who else? Capone did it. Why not? All right. CIA, Mafia, Jackie, Queen who? Elizabeth? I don't know if she was in on that deal. All right, CIA, most of Mafia. Come on. Oh, government. All right, the wife. Who would think that the wife will whack the president of the United States off because he's a scorned woman? I mean, she got to have a lot of, to say I'm finna whack off with the president who. OJ Simpson did it? Probably. Okay. Y'all funny. So, all right. So here's the deal, though. There was a UFO connection to this. I'm going to get ready to tie that in. All right. So JJ, he just put up $5. He said, I found a lot of value. I think our government orchestrated it with many players. So the cause confusion. That is fine. That you do want to, and thank you, JJ, for the super chat. You want to weave all of that in. Okay. You definitely want to weave that in because that's something that you want to do, to look into. So, all right. So I got a few answers there. Kennedy shot first and Roswell and all of that stuff. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Let's get down to the business of all of this from here. I'm going to get into some of the stories and things I think is it. So let me give you a little transition of what I'm talking about here. All right, so we're going to get into the second phase of the show. I'm Roderick Martin, and I'm here with Why the Big Secret. I'm now streaming here, part of the Forbidden Knowledge Network with Billy Carson. And you're going to find me here every Tuesday night, 8 Central to 10 p.m. Central Time. Tonight is our first debut, and we're talking about JFK assassination and who, what, and why is it a big secret. But now I'm going to take the Pandora's box to another level here, guys, because there is a UFO connection, and that UFO connection goes really deep. Okay, so this is how we're going to do it. So again, if you don't know who I am, I'm here in Texas, the Jumbo State, where the UFOs come out to play. And I am a UFO investigator for the MUFON Network, which is the Mutual UFO Network. You can also find me on Discovery Plus. I am hosted in a TV show there called Alien Endgame. I'm also on Fox Tubi, which is the Alien Roswell 75 anniversary. Also in Billy Carson's, his Black Knight satellite, Beyond the Signal. Also aired on Gaia, which you're going to see that pretty soon, and a couple other shows in the making. And I just want you to know to support those things. Is why I'm sharing that with you. So, UFOs, extraterrestrials, the president of the United States, and who killed him and why. And one thing's for certain, we know that they've done a lot of things when it comes down to this UFO phenomenon. Okay, that is no joke. We have killed some people when it comes down to the UFO phenomenon. And nothing more tells me, and as you remember, so let me bring you up to speed, Russia had already launched the satellite or space station or whatever it was, Sputnik. This thing was up there. It was already ahead of us in the space race. Bag up for a minute. In 1947, there was something crashed in Roswell, New Mexico, which we had some extraterrestrial bodies and we had, spacecrafts and all of those things that were in the mix of the conspiracy prior to way before Kennedy. But Kennedy was an idealist. He was interested in UFOs. He wanted to know. And at this time, we already know the UFO phenomenon was getting really controlled, and these people have no boundaries. The big secret keepers in the UFO community, they have no boundaries. I'm telling you, there is none because they don't exist. They feel that the phenomena doesn't exist. The cabals running, the people behind it doesn't exist. The men in black. So when you get caught up on that side of the fence, they make you disappear for real. And so I have no problem and now get ready to connect the dots for you that we now got skin in the game as ufologists. Everybody else is in it, the UFO, the mafia, the CIA, the military, and now we are all in on the UFO side. So let's get down to the business of why we will say this. For number one, it all started with a conversation that went something like this.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space.
Now, theoretically, we would think that is something that's pretty much okay. So we're looking at this to say, okay, Roderick, where are we going with that? I'm glad you asked because I do have somewhere to go. And I have a little clip that I just want to say, okay, imagine the president at this moment getting this particular message. And this is just off the whack here. But look.
I believe a UFO has crashed into the moon.
Yeah, I know you heard it. I'm going to play it again for you. Imagine him getting, remember this happened, okay, at the time that he was saying it's time to go to the moon.
I believe a UFO has crashed into the moon.
And now we're talking a little deeper into the scenario here, because at this time, and you can go back to today, and Buzz Aldrin today admit that when they finally got to the moon, they was being watched by some aliens. So if you think about Roswell happening prior to and all the other stuff that was happening, and he was up and coming, he was very interested in this. And if they have had evidence, and this is my added to the conspiracy itself, that something happened on the moon. Okay. And at this point, there was an issue with people didn't want that. They wanted that secret to stop. So let me give you another video clip, and then I'm going to show you something that we're going to go from here.
We choose to go to the moon. But why some say the moon? Why choose this as our goal?
I believe a UFO has crashed into the moon.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing.
All right, so let me throw something in the pack for y'all to truly understand. We got 919 likes. We're trying to get to 1,000. If you're one of those 80 people who we can be so blessed with your thumb things, hitting those like button to get to 1,000, it'll be not only be a dream come true, but it'll also be just a true blessing. So if you can hit it. I'm Roderick Martin. We're talking about JFK assassination and how it's going to connect to the UFOs. I present to you the first piece of paper that tells you that we got a problem, and it was a problem, and I'm ready to put it out there. Let me just find it for you. Take a look at this. All right, if y'all ready, there you go. This is a top secret memorandum. Okay, subject says classification revised of all UFO intelligence affecting national security. At the bottom, it came from JFK. Okay, it was already rumored that JFK was going to disclose the UFOs topic. Now I'm gonna show you something again. You might have missed it because it hadn't been up there long. JFK was killed November the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken, 1963. He was already known to be exposing the UFO. He wanted to expose this thing, and the big secret keepers wasn't down with the program. Look at the date of this memo. Okay, check out the date at the top. Take a look. All right, right at the top, November the 12th, 1963. Okay, 1963, 2 weeks before he was bumped off. Okay, assassinated by who we don't know. Now the UFO people's in the play. This was to the CIA, who he already had issues with. Soviet Union, he had issues with. And this is one of those things, okay? And I'm saying to you, I don't know. It's one of the things that we want to really take a look at that. Right before that, this man was pretty much about to expose the UFO phenomenon. This is what really people start talking about. Now, I don't know for the likes of me, when you start thinking about it, and here's when I remember I told y'all about money, I mentioned the word money, okay? When you start thinking about the cabal, the complex of the military and the big secret keepers behind this phenomena, this thing is huge, very huge. Because let me tell y'all something. How many of you understand this and work with me on this? We got 1K likes. My hat's off to all of you. How many of you seen a UFO? And I've said this on my channel. How many of you seen a UFO stop for gas? How many of you done that? Okay. You have never seen a UFO stop for gas. And because number one, they're using a different type of energy source. Okay. So if you think about Roswell, New Mexico and all of these things and when it happened, then you're going to understand that there is a bigger secret than the crash itself. There's a way bigger secret than that, right? Way bigger secret. You ain't never seen a UFO stop for gas. So that means, could you imagine, just think for a minute, think, just kind of think outside the box. When this thing crashed, okay, and it probably said how, and he said, okay, we got some stuff we want to share with you. That's not going to happen. But I challenge everybody with this statement. You are now all of a sudden the proud owners of Exxon. Every last one of you, 1,000 people, 1,200 people watching. You are the proud owners of Exxon. This is where this JFK thing comes into play with UFOs. You sitting on a board. You're sitting on a board, and you are sitting here. And believe me, with Why the Big Secret, I like to just go outside the box. I don't go with the narratives, and you can take your own opinions and thoughts and connect the dots yourself, okay? But again, you never seen a UFO stop for gas, and you never seen a UFO. So we know that the one commodity that rules the entire planet is oil, okay? And if that was to go away, we will probably have a huge, huge breakdown in society, okay? So could you imagine all of you who are now billionaires and you sit on the board, and I want all of you to participate in this with me, okay? You sit on the board of Exxon. We all got the round table and we laughing, and we know our kids are rich. The other kids are rich. The kids that even got here is rich, and our legacy is money is on top of money, okay? And all of a sudden, somebody sends a memo and say, hey, pass this out to everybody. And the memo says there's an extraterrestrial from planet Xeon. He just got here, and he wants to save planet Earth, and he wants to share free energy. Okay? He wants to share free energy. Now, we all sitting in the room. We billionaires because we sell oil every day. But now we got this alien who's getting ready to free Earth of this being, stuck on oil. How many of you going to let that dude walk out the door alive? Period. Let me see in your comments. I'm serious. How many of you going to do that, right? And what I'm saying to you is, and what I want you to get the correlation between, and the reason I'm going to tie this in, and I don't want to lose a lot of you with this, is that you got to think that there's bigger things, bigger when it comes down to UFO disclosure, this UFO thing with JFK, our government, and all of this, because it is much bigger than what we think when it comes down to disclosure that we're seeking. And what I'm saying is we got to think about for everyone else, because if all of us is sitting here on that board of oil and he came in and said, we're going to save Earth, not one of you probably will let him walk out that door alive. So don't be surprised when you think our government or big secret keepers are hiding the bigger things that we don't know. Technology, reverse engineering, all of the stuff that comes along with extraterrestrials, UFO, and all of these things, because it's huge. And then don't think that the ETs don't have extra intelligence. And do you think when the word gets back to planet Xeon that the last spokesman went to Earth to go free Earth, got whacked. They're not going to send nobody. So this is why when people ask, how come they're not saving the planet, or how come they're not doing more? Do they really care about us? Okay, I threw that in there because I wanted you to seriously get into the thought of where it comes down to the secrets and what is happening with this whole thing. So when I go back and I show you that JFK wrote this memo, look at the memo, look at the date, and you're going to see that November the 12th, 1963, it was to the CIA, which he'd already had problems with. And now all of a sudden, that is the issue that comes down to, and look at the date. He wanted the UFO files. We're trying to go to the moon, and nobody really wanted that discovery ever happen. So this is where the UFO community can get into the game when it comes down to, is there some connection? Because you can't rule it out. We cannot rule out 2 weeks prior to that he's assassinated. Okay, we can't really figure out who and what. But the whole point is, when you get down to what we're talking about here, that the web is huge. It's huge. So if I take you back, we go back to the mafia. I can take you back and say, okay, we go back to the government. And this is the only situation where, if you think about why would the UFO community want to whack him off, then you got to think about the implications worldwide. See, when you think about the mafia would only want to whack him out because it's bothering their business. LBJ would have done it because he wanted to be president and he wanted to go back, and that's still big enough. Jackie wanted because he was cheating on her, and the other dude said, okay, I want the girl, so I'm gonna kill the guy. So if you go back to the CIA, who was ticked off because he wouldn't support Vietnam, you go to the military because he wouldn't really support this. But when you put the bigger picture together of that, the cabal, the people behind the UFO secrets, you got military, you got businesses, you have private entities, you got secret societies, you got a whole lot of people that this disclosure is not the thing that goes well, where I'm going with that. Okay. So it just all depends. So the answer is, when it comes down to this thing, we don't know. Nobody really know, but this guy drew enough enemies out there, or people that, knocked him off. Okay. And that's something to really think about when it comes down to this JFK assassination. And like I said, the connectivity. Yeah, we can go back to Bob Lazar stories. We can go back to all of these things. And as we lead back into this path of ufology and what's going on in UFOs, and I'll take you off the box for a minute. Did you all remember recently there was some FAA reports that came out that John Greenwald released, and he was talking about, or actually it was the audio from the FAA, and they was saying how these planes saw UFOs, and they was all radaring back from each other, Southwest Airlines, Northwest Eastern Airlines, and they all were saying, hey, we see these UFOs, and one of those UFOs that the plane went under it and turned off some of the instrumental panels and stuff, not to make the plane crash or nothing, but just whatever it did, turned it off. Do anybody recall that story in the audience? Put that on there. Let me see. Somebody talk about Billy Carson, take the mask off. We know it's you. All right. So my name is Roderick Martin. And no, all the good stuff. But anyway, do anybody remember that story? And what are we looking at when it comes down to this airlines? Okay, so some of you people say y'all remember, y'all understand it. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because, once again, we are, as a community, we're pushing for disclosure. And I don't think we really think we're going to get what we're looking for, but do we really want what we're asking for? Because I don't think any of you will want to go to get on an airplane, right? And right before you get on the airplane, they hand you a piece of paper and say, oh, the last flight that just went by, there was UFO turned off some instruments, because you want disclosure. or you just got off the plane and they hand you a note and said, while we was in the sky, we ran into some UFOs. You know, how will we accept all of that? And I think that's something that we have to look at. So when you think about, again, when you tie all of this possibility back to the Kennedy assassination and all the powers that be, I think the UFO side of it poses the biggest threat of them all. It's bigger than them all, to where if that was true, that he was about to expose that community, and he already set it in motion to say, hey, we need to get men on the moon. Yeah, and you saw that. Once again, I'll play it again. You know, that was his main statement, is get somebody on the moon. Here you go.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space.
Yeah, and so now we're taking this to the next level. And I don't even know, you know, how many of you probably believe or don't believe that we're not alone in this universe. And of course, if you're part of, you know, forbidden knowledge, you already should be just way up into the knowledge of there's a lot of things around besides us, right? And so once again, when we get down to this is things that we explore. And again, with Why the Big Secret, we just like to ask those questions. I like to get you to think of all the possibilities and say, okay, we can look at this beyond the narrative that they are putting in there. And so again, if you think that we're not alone, I don't know what to tell you, you know, and, you know, or that we are alone. I don't know what to tell you on that. But at the end of the day, these are the things that we want to literally look into. So back again, and I'm going to do a quick recap for those of you who just popping in with us and everything else. We have the story behind this JFK assassination, the conspiracy of it intentionally started with the FBI, the military, the mafia, his wife, LBJ, the wife, new husband. All of these people have skin in the game to why they would have bumped him off. And then ultimately we came down a path to show that memo, and that he was already trying to push us to get to the moon. And he was to a point where he was pulling people from Vietnam, but he also was stating that he wanted to expose the UFO community. Not exposed, but he thought at this point people should know. And believe me, I don't care who whatever runs on the office today and say they're going to bring that to us. It's not happening. Even though we got the UAP hearings, we got all of these things. That's one of the things there. So I think that, you know, at the end of the day, those are the things that we should truly look into. So I'm gonna look in here and see if anyone also have any questions, or again, if you want to state the reason why you think JFK, and then of course we want to touch on the conspiracies itself. I would love to hear some of your thoughts. And if you want to kind of highlight it, you're welcome to support Billy's channel and super chat from there. And, you know, and you're his community, and you can definitely do that as well. But also, I'm Roderick Martin. If you have opportunity to at some point go to Why the Big Secret YouTube channel, if you find any value. I don't expect that everyone will say, hey, you know, Roderick, you cool. But the ones who think I'm cool, and we can all roll together here on Forbidden Knowledge and Why the Big Secret, hop on over there, subscribe to the channel. Definitely would love to support, but I will be here every Tuesday. But we do have some discussions. Even tomorrow, Why the Big Secret, I'm going to have filmmaker Darcy Ware. We're going to be talking about his film Men in Black. Okay, he made a film Men in Black, and he got a whole bunch of other stuff there with it. Oh, Carmen, somebody said Roderick, you cool. Appreciate it. Oh, Cameron. Okay, appreciate it, Cameron. I'm talking about Carmen and all that. So I appreciate y'all. And yeah, I did see a couple of things, negative stuff in the chat, you know, a couple of people, but out of thousands. And this is where you pull that move and say, this is where I'm at, and this is where he is, and he can stay where he is. But the other part about it, I enjoy this. This is what we do. Ain't nobody know all the answers. Everybody don't know. If somebody tells you they know everything, now don't get me wrong. There are some people who are way up here intelligent like Billy, you know, who knows a lot of a lot of a lot of a lot. Okay, a lot. But everybody, we're still learning everything. Okay, so JFK was assassinated because the Federal Reserve. You know what? I meant to bring that up, Michelle. You're so correct. That was also in the loop. There was some issues with the Federal Reserve. He was getting ready to change that currency back to, I think, was it some type of it was something else. He was getting ready to go back with the currency, and they did not like how he was going to change the Federal Reserve and a few things. So, and as y'all know, the Federal Reserve is not owned by the government. Y'all know that, right? It is a private institution. So once again, you got some other people who will be highly motivated in bumping off a president to maintain their power and everything else and everything. Rico, appreciate it. He says subscribe to the channel. Why the Big Secret, and turned on the notification. I really appreciate it from there. If any of you wanted to do that, thank you for that. Ain't nothing about federal about it. Yes, they are not owned. It is private owned. There's people got stock options in the Federal Reserve as well as the IRS. All of these are independent people owning the power of what they do. So again, that's one of the reasons why you see all this crypto and everything else coming up where people are trying to change the world. But anyway, so tomorrow we will have, and then on Thursday on Why the Big Secret, I have the UFO twins that's going to be there. And then Marie, I'm sorry, she is a ghost hunter. She's an African-American sister that is a official ghost hunter. And we try to go over the link between ghosts and UFOs, or aliens and extraterrestrials. Is there a link? Could a ghost be an ET, and could an ET be a ghost, since they all using fourth dimension type movement and speaking and all of that stuff? So we explore all of that on Thursday. So you're welcome to hop there, as well as whatever you watch here and everything else. We got those 1,000 likes tonight. I really appreciate it from there. So we got about another 15-20 minutes that I'm going to spend with you tonight. And then definitely Billy is going to be here with me in one of these weeks. We're going to do some interviews about some things. And of course, that it's just the greatness of that anyway. So one of those deals. But back real quickly, JFK, assassination, all these people involved. We really don't know. We got a lot of conspiracies to really look into everything. I just tried to tie in the UFO conspiracy because I let you know this thing is big, and I know we are all walking down this road to disclosure, and we saying, Roderick, we're going to have disclosure. We're going to do all these things. It's a whole new ball game. I too thought the jig was up when they said 180 days was coming out. I was like, oh man, what are we going to do from that? And we're going to do that from there. So I think it's just one of those things to truly understand that we're on a whole new level. It's a new game, y'all. It's a totally new game from there. So with that being said, is there any other people got any other questions that you want to share and talk and say? Like I said, we will be getting out here actually in a few moments. I just wanted to make an introduction and talk about our first stories tonight. Usually I kind of string for a couple of hours, but definitely I just wanted to cover this particular stories with y'all tonight from there. And if you are okay with me being here on Thursdays, I just you can give me a welcome right now, and I'll take a look and say thank you. And again, to Billy Carson and Elizabeth and everyone else who, Justin, the family, and say, hey, Roderick, won't you come on over here with us on Tuesday nights? And so I'll be here every Tuesday night giving you some things. We can kind of do that. And then I have thank you. All right. So I see the thank you. And no, we're actually here on Tuesdays. And then Thursday and Wednesday and Monday and everything else, I'm over at my Why the Big Secret YouTube channel. So if you definitely want to subscribe to that, do that. But this is, speaking to a larger audience like this, you guys are really, really welcoming. I really appreciate you and the kind words and everything else that you guys have said and typed. I see some when I see, and then there's a couple of them I saw saying some negative things, and you expect that from people who Anyway, but it happens. You get somebody want to stick out, but by that time, that person wouldn't be over at Why the Big Secret when the time comes, because we have moderators will be boom. But we do free speeches, and you can say what you want to say. But anyway, I appreciate it. I really enjoy being here. Like I said, I really enjoy being here. We got the likes over 1,000. That was a dream. That was something I wanted to leave. Billy Witt saying, hey, I appreciate it. I want to say thank you to the Truth Seekers. Those are people that we call our community over from the other side. And we even have a nice little theme song that we play to our Truth Seekers. You're welcome to kind of check that out. Got a little short version. I'll fire it up for y'all. But and then we'll get ready to get out here as well. And then I just like to thank them. And this is kind of a song we have for our Truth Seekers.
Let me ask you a question. Why the big secret? Truth seekers, but really the true leaders. It's time to get the facts from the big secret keepers. UFOs passing by when I look up in the sky. We're out here asking why, but we don't get no reply. We want disclosure, we need the actual facts. They're covering all the tracks, but we're not backing down. It's our time, stay on the grind. Why the big secret's about to blow your mind.
All right, so that was me just saying thank you to each and every one of you. This is Roderick Martin, and I am getting ready to get out. Like I said, we usually do 2 hours, but tonight was our first time here, and I just want to kind of give you some things to kind of go with. And I will take y'all out in fashion of how we leave, and we'll just kind of go from there and from there. So anyway, congratulations to me being here today, and I want to thank each and every one of you if you're watching the show Why the Big Secret, and I hope to see you back Tuesday night. But also subscribe to the channel if you have not done that, Billy Carson's channel here as well, or come over to the Why the Big Secret. I'm Roderick Martin, your UFO investigator here in the Jumbo State. This is where the UFOs come out to play. It's a Texas thing. So again, I'm gonna bid you good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, and I appreciate you coming on tonight. But again, subscribe to the channel of Why the Big Secret, and I will see each and every one of you there. And we're going to be really, truly having a great time from there. So in the meantime, hats off to you. I appreciate you. And we're going to be out.